Asia and the Pacific is recognized.
I thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Coates, thanks for being here today. When I read through your report, it really goes back to the 2009 report, where you, I don't know that you were part of the department at that time, but I know you guys are the watchdogs for the American taxpayer dollar. You were suggesting then to the Department of State to do a review.
That's correct.
Has it ever been done?
It has not been done. We don't consider that they fully implemented that recommendation, no.
What reason did they implement any of it?
The Diplomatic Security Bureau itself has taken a number of measures to improve their strategic planning, but what we recommended is that the department needed to do a strategic review of the Bureau, because the Bureau of Diplomatic Security is not in a position to say no when they're asked to provide support. So we really think that the department needs to take a hard look at all the missions, all the many diffuse missions that the Diplomatic Security Bureau is responsible for, and make some hard choices about what they can achieve with the resources that they have, or whether they need additional resources, or whether the mission itself needs to be reduced.
Okay, so what I'm trying to understand is, so in 2009, now we're in 2012, so the results of September 11th of this year, then we got to ask, so 2009, 2010, 2011, now we got to all the way almost through 2012, and there's still this accountability that has not been taken into account. And I'm just trying to understand, when we look at this whole event, it's not about the money, because the money was there. In fact, it was greater amounts than were there before. And we also know that the Department of State has discretionary power over how the money would have been spent anyway. So it can't be that. Ms. Lamb herself said it wasn't for lack of money, so I think it's kind of foolish to say that somehow it was a budgetary thing that we put these people at risk. We didn't put them at risk. We actually put them at risk by completely ignoring a full year ahead of time the fact that this was a very vulnerable and very violent place. I don't know, and I heard Mr. Nordstrom, I was there to hear his testimony. He talked about what they tried to do with and to increase the protection at the consulate or outpost, whatever you want to term it. This thing gets bounced around too much. I think the question that begs to be answered is, why did we leave our ambassador in, my colleague said he was there in Libya. He said you weren't, so you didn't see it, but he would tell you how bad it was. I mean, it was absolutely unstable. It was kind of a Wild West show. So my question is, so if that's the case, and if it wasn't about money, if it wasn't about budgetary cuts, why would we continue to put our ambassador at risk in an area that we took our security support team, special ops people, if it wasn't about the money, and we replaced them with $4 an hour Libyan nationals, who were the unarmed, by the way. So an area that's so vulnerable, so violent, everybody that goes there says it's a Wild West show, and we're saying that, yeah, well, you know what we thought? We thought we should dumb down our security with that. The GAO had nothing to do with that. I mean, were the taxpayer dollars spent the right way? Did we get a return on our investment? I would say that it goes far beyond what we spent. We spent 4 lives because of a lack of attention to an issue that everybody says was completely out of control and unstable. It just doesn't make sense. And forget the political end of it. Why we would put an ambassador and other Americans at risk in that area and somehow back away from it now and say we just didn't see it coming. We saw it coming for a full year. There's 230 attacks in Libya. There were 48 in Benghazi. There were 2 on that consulate. The day he died, Sean Smith tweeted to somebody, if we do not die tonight, we have to get these Libyans out of here that are taking pictures of the inside of our consulate. My goodness, everybody saw it coming. When the International Red Cross is targeted and attacked, when the Brits pull out and we're the last flag flying and we're saying we're surprised that this happened because we had really normalized relations there. We even took their airplane away from them because it was so safe. At the same time, we were telling people, travelers, don't go there. It's a danger zone. So, Madam Chair, I thank you. Or Mr. Wilson, you're sitting in the chair right now, and I appreciate what the GAO does, and I appreciate you coming here today. But the answers really are that we had the money, we had the resources, we had the ability to do it. This falls squarely on the shoulders of the Secretary of State, the Department of State, the President of the United States. They turned a blind eye and a deaf ear to an area that was so unstable. And with that, I yield back.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kelly. And we now proceed to